Over 20 years of neglect can put a Land Rover in pretty poor shape. Buying a Land Rover for a bargain price without fully checking it over can leave you with a lot to sort over your ownership. After 6 years of owning Boris, I can look back and say that I've been chasing chassis problems and spending thousands in the process. Do I regret these decisions? No. Because for some reason we enjoy saving these vehicles, and I'm hoping that my one will outlive me. If one thing's for certain, you won't be keeping your old vehicle with a chassis that's about to split in half. That's why I've bitten the bullet and gone for a Richards chassis. If you're new to these videos, I have done some previous parts, one of pre-planning and the second of preparation and painting. And right now, I'll pass you over to me in the garage. So here you go then, as you can see, Boris is up in the air, chassis underneath. We're actually at the beginning of day 2 right now, but we are ready, it is underway, and at the moment it's going very well. Right now, let's go back to day 1, get Boris in here and start the job and get cracking. Reversing Boris back for the first time into the workshop is quite a daunting experience, but thankfully I'm in good hands with Ben.
Have you got your Pioneer brake kit? Does that come right up to the master cylinder?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one super long one will be your front to rear. That's your front axle
Twisted ones.
And rear axle.
It's hard to know where to start, but first of all we were just going through all the new parts to make sure we had everything in order.
Yeah, that's fine. Just so I know what we can do to speed things up and what we can't do. If necessary, we can just pull it off anyway, it's not a big deal.
The plan is to leave the body as intact as possible and the wings on as well. So Ben's removing the front of the engine area, leaving the cooling system in place, and then we can get the body off there. For me, the most daunting bit was the engine bay. The plan is to be able to run your arm pretty much down the sides of the engine between the wings, and then you'll be able to remove the body. Next up, we are working back to the rock sliders. They will be never going back on, and as you can see, I didn't manage to wash the chassis, so Ben was blowing it off with the air compressor, removing the body mount bolts as they were a little bit tough, but generally we were making good progress.
Yes! There you go.
So yeah, so we've got an earth that side, we've got an earth this side.
Yeah,
that one there.
Yeah.
And that one up there.
So literally it's just the rear crossmember bolts, a few of them here stuck in, and then the mud flaps and a couple of bolts up the front, and we're getting there, which is pretty good. Just this one needs to come off now, and I think that's the front to back worked on, and hopefully then we can split the body, but we'll see how we go. Oh, okay. Are some of them captive then?
Yeah, so all these ones are captive, it's just the end ones that are.
Now it was time to remove the ORE wheel carrier, but I had to adjust the rear cross member because it was slightly in the way of the bolts. I didn't film it coming off, but I did catch this.
It's all the ancillary bits. There's not actually many bolts holding them together, really. There's like six. Yeah. So we're at the point now where basically the body is ready to come up. Hopefully as we go up there's nothing still attached. Ben's obviously done it many times, so we're generally at the point where everything's disconnected and we can just sort of watch as it's sort of coming up to see if there's any cables or anything like that out of the battery box, but generally we're looking pretty good. Wow.
Particularly tight over anything, it's just
wow.
A thing.
It
hasn't moved so far.
It will catch it, won't it, if it needs to. So do you not have to break the coolant system at all? Or will you do it when you take the engine
Yes,
out?
yeah, it will all come off separately.
Hey, not bad.
Not bad for 3.5 hours.
Not bad at all. Look at that.
There
Wow,
you go.
well done.
Right, I'm going home.
Go on then. Finish up.
Yeah, done.
Now the body is up and we can take a look at the top side of the chassis. It's revealed a few extra holes that we didn't even know about. I have to say it's a nice feeling after worrying for so long about these sort of things to just throw it to the wind and then just carry on with the swap and knowing I'll be rolling away with a brand new chassis. Right now we're having a look at the engine and gearbox mounts, ready to take it out after Ben has drained the coolant and removed the radiator.
Oh. Didn't even click. It's just a zzz. Yeah, they're finger tight.
Because literally the axles come off as a whole.
Yeah, you just.
Wheel this out,
Yeah.
new chassis in, hang it off these legs.
Oh, hang it. Oh, then.
Because then what we can literally do is then lift your old chassis in the air, drop the axles off, roll the rear axle straight under, bolt it back up, poach whatever we need off the rest of this. So you haven't got a front anti-roll bar, but you've got rear, which will take an extra 10 minutes of
It's 4 bolts. Yeah, 4 bolts.
Fuel filler neck.
But that can stay on the axle, can't it? You just undo off the chassis, just roll off with the axle.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Just there? Nailed it. Lovely job.
As you can see, all there is left to do now is hoist the engine out with the tractor, and thankfully we've got Josh here to supervise us.
Yeah. So there we go then. It's looking pretty good. That came up pretty easily as well. Very happy with that. Now we just need to start taking all this apart now, which is pretty good. And new clutch in the engine as well. Nice.
Front bumper off, screw that out of the way.
Yep.
Steering guard off, undo the steering box and ball joint, and then the whole power steering system's off in one go. Oh, look at them muscles on it! Oh, Jack, you had all this off, didn't you?
Yeah, I did this, whatever. Ooh.
I even pulled them off from lack of nylocks.
That might be why then. Have I not used spring washers?
You haven't used any washers, you animal.
I learned from the best, obviously.
As you can see there, Ben is picking up on some of the mistakes I've made at home, and that is a reminder that this is just a video of us doing it. I'm not a professional, but Ben is, apparently. Time to attack the turrets on both sides. Over the years they've come fully attached, so it's good to just attack the bolts with a grinder, and we don't need to save them anyway because we've got the new Gwyn Lewis ones.
I'm just
Cool,
gonna do this.
right, that's
This is
front
much
axle
easier.
ready to remove.
That flex system.
At this point, Ben popped out, which left me and Josh to move the chassis unattended by an adult, which is never a good idea.
Like a Shire horse.
So here you go, a very poignant moment in the build. The new chassis is coming into the workshop and going to be placed under Boris.
So a bit of a status update. You've obviously seen everything we've been doing. Underneath Boris now, you've got the new Richard chassis sitting down ready underneath, and we've got going to strap it up with 4 different straps here, which means when you raise the lift up with the body on, the chassis will come up, and then we can roll the axles underneath it, which are still, well, one of them's on the old chassis there, and the front one is there ready to go on, and the engine's there as well. Thankfully, having a lift and a tractor makes it a hell of a lot easier.
While Ben's away, I thought I'd get ahead and remove the rear axle from the old chassis, ready to roll under the new one. I definitely didn't turn the tractor on and use it on my own. Ben got to work removing the old spring seats that I've been wanting to do for 5 years, as someone broke the bolt and welded it on before me, and now we've got fresh galv ones from DDS. The rear axle is going to be the first thing to go onto the new chassis, but it does require a little bit of wiggling to go on, and let's see how we do.
I'm far away still.
You're far away, that's fine, because then what we'll do...
Oh, hang on. Okay, yeah.
Snapping. Who needs shock absorbers?
Yeah, that's great.
We can start bolting on the brand new bits from DDS, like these galv cab mounts, and also some new shock hangers on the back as well. I highly recommend having a stainless steel bolt kit, because you've got to enjoy the little things.
Body mounts are going on as well, and at the front there I've got the Gwyn Lewis heavy duty turrets on. Really simple, those are nice, all bolted on, and then I've got some new bump stops to go on as well. They really do contrast well, the black in it all is looking really nice, but that's not the point. It's going to work well too. Oh, it's captive.
Oh yeah.
Looking in pretty good shape, really happy with bolting all these bits and pieces back on. I'm really happy with the progress so far, and I'm very excited to get it done. Hopefully Wednesday night will be, you know, the aim, 2 more days, but at the moment, very happy with progress. If I was to order something with you for a van, do you think it would get in the sort of, well, when do they leave, the first ones?
Bubby's van's leave at 9, so I should be able to catch it.
That'd be awesome if you wouldn't mind.
Although it isn't quite this quick, Brookwell's definitely helped us out a few times. Aaron on the other line really knows his stuff, and the parts were delivered up a few hours later. Ben got cracking with the power steering setup and had that bolted up in no time, while I fiddled around the back with the anti-roll bar, which took a little while to get up because it is quite heavy, but once it was done up, only 4 bolts, nice and easy.
So these pieces from DDS really do make a difference. You know, the ones that were on the chassis before they looked actually fine. They must have been replaced more recently, but having new galv bits to match the galv chassis, look at that contrast of the galv against the black, very happy with that. Just going to attach those now. I'm just hoping that M8s will fit through there. They don't look like they will, which is annoying. It's a shame, because they will there. Might have to be M6s, unfortunately.
Oh, it really feels nice and easy for a little while, but that didn't last long. The gearbox crossmember is a definite tight fit. I took it out for paint, and getting it back in is a bit of a challenge. A bit of cavity wax to stop rust, and a few taps with a hammer. The bolts are back in, and we're underway. Touch of black, and it is like new. A nice guy turned up to tell me how Land Cruisers don't rust. A nice bit of advice when you're knee deep in a chassis swap. Thank you for that.
Do we need to? I don't know. Do we? Probably. It looks like it. Are we keeping an eye on these holes?
So just like that, the front axle is all bolted up. A little bit of prizing here and there. It'd be definitely difficult on your own, but with 2 of us it wasn't too bad. There's the ORE steering guard going back on, and after that the bumper followed. It definitely feels like things are coming back together.
Not bad. Not
Lunchtime, day 2.
rolling chassis.
Rolling chassis.
Lovely job. Not bad, eh? So just go through what we've got to do again.
Loft clutch,
Yeah.
new engine mount, bushings,
Gearbox mounts.
yeah, engine and gearbox mount, fuel pipes, brake pipes,
Yeah.
body back on,
body
and
mounts.
your mounts.
Yeah.
Your mounts.
Yeah, cool. So right now everything is looking really good, well wrapped up. Both axles are on, and I think every bolt there is done, which is great, which means we can now move on to fitting the fuel lines and brake lines, the braided ones from Pioneer, which is very exciting. We've just had a little look around. We do need to drill some holes here and there for the clips that are provided with the brake lines. There's one here, we just tested, fitted it, and seeing how we go. It's a lovely carbon fibre look, which is amazing, and we're going to get in now. I don't know where they go, so Ben's going to come back in a second and lay it all down, and then we can get going with that. So it should be nice and easy.
Then drops down like that.
Yeah.
And obviously I've pulled that way too far forward. And then usually there'll be a hole to take brackets, but we may...
There's one there as well, isn't there? Where you've gone through, just where you've gone through there.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well
nice,
that's your
so-
proper mounting one for your flexi.
And then that goes onto the...
And then that goes down to your T-piece, which you've been supplied a new T-piece, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Ben cracked on with a section that runs along the chassis from front to back, and I thought I'd head back to the rear diff and to the T-piece that connects the two rear calipers. Pioneer thankfully label their bags, and on the instructions at the end, each bag is named for where it goes. Really easy, quite intuitive really, and it is 10 times easier than running new lines with copper or reusing the old ones. I recently had a copper line split in a campsite which I had to fix, and thank God that's going to be a thing of the past. I can't wait to see what these look like on and how they work.
Bag number 7, opening up.
You definitely find little upgrades all the way through the Pioneer kit.
Thankfully the end bit's twist on here, which is nice.
The ends are 10 times better as they use a banjo bolt type system, which is much easier to tighten up as the line doesn't run through the middle. It is a bolt instead.
Would you, in your opinion, run it through the gap there, like under the spring, like through there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it as close coupled as you can.
Yeah, that makes sense. Don't want it dangling or angling.
The kit includes very heavy duty cable ties and 3D printed very tough clips that clip the actual line to the chassis. I put 2 on this side and 2 on the other, even though my positioning is probably a little bit off. All you need to do is repeat the same for the other side. Make sure the bolts are actually nipped up nice and tight, which I may have forgotten and leaked out later on in the process. It is nice and easy and looks neat very quickly, and you know they are going to last for a very long time. When I installed this ARB diff cover a few years ago, it removed the actual hanger from the T-piece, so I drilled and tapped it, and that looks very neat. As you can see here, we also fitted the heavy duty new fuel lines from the back to the front. Ben did find them slightly different to the normal ones to fit, but once they're in, they do look fantastic, and like the braided brake lines, they will last a long time. So there we go for this video, that is it. I hope there have been a few rewarding moments to keep you entertained. I'm going to get this one out nice and early, and I thought it'd be better to finish it halfway through, which I don't usually do, and get it out. I always have a great time up at BHE Autos with Ben. Every product that I've fitted so far, including the chassis, has no issues whatsoever. It's been a fantastic process going from the install, filming it, and now editing it as well. I hope that you'll tune in for the second part of this, where we will get to drive Boris away with a brand new galvanised chassis and get this job finished up. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Lovely.
Ow! All right, let's go. Strap that off. Burn, Josh, burn!
Where is it?
Turning.
Where is it? I got
Turning! Somebody
There it is.
stop that nut! I did buy it, it wasn't Mummy!
Please, don't be mean.
Because it's a grease of lightning! Yeah.
Hey, boy. No!
God's sake. Pop. Oh, hello.
Your favourite thing?
Breaker, rubber ducky. Alexa! Alexa! Play Kratos' radio, for God's sake. For Jack humiliates me anymore. We are ready.
Very, very dramatic there. You look very cool.
Just like a silhouette of
Sorry, not you.
You weren't filming that, were you?
Yeah, no way. That's going to make the highlights reel.